Hello everyone, my name is Ottermelon, and it would do me no greater pleasure than to be your guide on this emotional, sometimes heartfelt, sometimes soapy, sometimes frustrating, but above all else very powerful roller coaster of emotions that we are about to experience today. And by that, I just mean that we're going to play a visual novel. And before we start, I suppose it would do you all a favor, and myself, instead of just jumping into this, to sort of lay the groundwork for not only what this game is about, but also what I hope to accomplish by sort of inserting myself, for lack of a better word, into this experience, and to be your guide along the way. So just as a framework, the Flowers visual novel that you see here, Volume 1, Spring, was published in 2016. I should say licensed in 2016 by Jest. To little fanfare, it was released in the summer of 2016 in either late August, early September, I believe. As I said, to little fanfare. And to this day, I mean, you could probably go around and see that there aren't that many people who've played it. You can go on Steam and see that there aren't a lot of reviews, not a lot of media, people talking about it in general. Just the overall popularity of this is fairly low. But that is somewhat here and there, because here we are 2 years later, and I suppose a more relevant question would be, why would I try and be posting a playthrough about 2 years later after the game came out, aside from the fact of relative popularity, or the lack of relative popularity, I should say? Well, I have a few reasons, but one is right here. I can hold it up, hopefully it's within the range of my camera. This is Volume 2, as of yet to be released online to the general public digitally. I got this here at Anime Expo this past year, or this past week I should say, at the J-List booth. And what better way to celebrate this, the official release of the second volume, than by playing through it? But I can't exactly just jump into the second one. I have to sort of, since the series is in fact connected, and this here is the second volume, what you see on the screen is the first volume, of course. You can't have the second one without the first, right? So in order to lay the groundwork, and in sort of celebration for the release of the second volume finally, which at the time of me recording this is coming out in 4 days on the 16th of July on Steam, and of course is already released as a physical copy. So I suppose I want this to become a series of sorts where eventually, if Just USA ever does release all 4 volumes in America or in the West, then it is my sort of desire to be a guide for this series, as it were. So what is this series exactly? As I hinted before, it's a visual novel. The format of the visual novel, for those who may not know, is it's relatively simple, very simple. You could even say it's a point-and-click adventure style, where you sort of are led through a story with established characters and everything, and the sort of onus of player control comes when you have to make choices, and the choices that you make affect the fate of basically everyone involved, main character, side character, love interests alike. And that is the case here. Flowers is, of course, does take the traditional format of a visual novel. So you might be asking, what sets this apart from other more popular, even, visual novels out there? I think there are a variety of answers for that, but I think more so than anything else, I did just finish my first playthrough of this game fairly recently, and I can kind of confidently say that it has an incredible sense of atmosphere, as vague as that term sounds. I know. But I hope that I can sort of explain that more. It's also just generally very well written. I think the main character is a very strong narrator. The dialogue is not natural per se, but entertaining, compelling, that kind of thing. And you kind of actually have to work your brain for some of the choices because there's a little bit of mystery thrown in. Not mystery in the traditional sense, rather mystery that it's more like logic puzzles that you need to solve in order to advance, and that sort of adds to the overall, I guess, difficulty level of the game. I'm not really sure how to explain it, but whether you are a returning fan of the series, for which, if that's the case, I would commend and applaud you, whether you have heard of the series and have a passive interest in it, or if you have no idea what the heck this is you're staring at, I hope that this playthrough will sort of appeal to that entire range of audience and everything in between, because I genuinely do believe that this series deserves more popularity just for the strength of its writing. And that's all I'll say for now. Aside from one more thing, what am I going to bring to this, add to this playthrough? I've played through it once already, and I've kind of dwelled on it for a very long time. I took my time on it, and going through this second playthrough, it's true, you're not going to really have the same genuine reactions, or I'm not, that I did the first time playing, because nothing really, you don't know what you're getting into, really, or I don't. So, the lack of reactions is certainly going to might possibly be a detriment, but on the flip side, I do think I will sacrifice that for analysis. Sort of not only why I like the game for it's sort of what it does well, but why the team made those decisions to put this in the game, why a character does what she does, why they make this decision or that decision, why sort of just the inner machinations of these characters, I suppose, and because I think some of it does need some explanation. It's not going to be entirely critical, but that is the goal. So, I have been rambling for far too long, just talking at this main screen, which, I mean, you can already sort of get a sense for this. I think one of the highlights of this game is the soundtrack, which is just beautiful, and we will definitely see more of that here. So, without further ado, let's begin.
私が欲したものは決して手に入らない。彼女との約束からつまびいた聖母祭での伴奏。でも私は彼女の期待に応えられるだろうか。失敗作の私が家族からの愛情を受けず、母に呪いを受け、何もつかむことができない私が、どうかこの一時だけアングレカムの花言葉を私に。
So, quite the introduction, I suppose. Or, I wouldn't say that's the introduction per se, I'd say it's the foreword. The true introduction comes now. And as you can see, I'm going to try and take myself out of the equation, sort of just remove the face cam and the audio, just leave the game to play on its own at very pivotal, I think, and significant cutscenes to sort of just increase the immersion. I think that this game is very immersive if you allow it to be. I mean, you sort of got a taste of the music there, and the introduction was sort of kind of a typical information dump, a lot of which you're not really supposed to understand yet. I mean, I know the first time that I played this, it was very confusing, and I just sort of had to press on, sort of see if I could try and figure out what that meant eventually, and you will. You're just not really supposed to know yet. And so here you have the sort of very generic or typical VN layout with the text box at the bottom, and your options, and you can progress through just by clicking or putting the spacebar, and so on and so forth. And I will also, like, I'm not going to be like sort of commenting over everything. I'm not going to be trying highlighting snide remarks or snarky comments at every single turn. I do want to let the game do the talking, because it talks on its own, and interpret that how you will. But I don't think it's necessary to have me blabbing over everything. It's sort of important to appreciate the, I suppose, the writing and the atmosphere of this game. So, I mean, that does mean that there's going to be a lot of just me just staring at the face cam and not saying anything, not moving, and if that's not for you, well, you probably have stopped watching by now, but I suppose that's a fair warning. But for the rest of you, I really do truly hope you stick around. So from the very beginning, we're dropped into this very, I guess, quiet and fearful atmosphere. It's highlighted by the background, of course, and also by this narration, which, highly relatable. The dark is a scary place.
そうだ、今日初めて一人で乗った電車やバス。
And here we are introduced to our protagonist, Suo Shirahane. As you can see, it's fully voice acted. Not fully, but all important characters have dedicated voice actors. And already, right off the bat, she's very, I guess, timid, you could say. You could even tell by her voice, which is sort of quiet and airy. And that's not an accident, I don't think. It was a deliberate casting role, I should say. You could also make some
バスが廃線になったなんて知ら
early
なかったも
on
の。
inferences that she's meticulous, planned out her trip, that kind of thing. Okay, I've been talking too much.
「調べてきた直通のバス。まさか2年も前に亡くなっていたなんて書いてなかったし。
Not exactly a very good start. It's going to be a recurring pattern from here on out.
「ダメ。友達が欲しいからアミティエ制度のある学院に通いたいって私から言い出したんじゃない。
So we get some more information. Very introverted as you can see in the text box there, sort of self-aware to an extent, wants to change that. It's very typical about rose-colored dreams of a rose-colored high school life kind of thing, because they are about high school age in this game series. So yeah, a lot of information in just this first opening scene. And you can see something that's a little bit different here is that, like, you know, your main character is, she's well, she stands on her own basically. She's not a self-insert. She has her own personality that you may or may not relate to. But personally, I think it's pretty easy to root for her. And that is something that we will see as we continue to advance.
祖父から教えてもらった学校、聖アングレカム学院。綺麗。
When the music cuts out like that, it's sort of a very effective signal to pay attention. You'll see what I mean.
え？あ！ごめんなさい。足元ばかり見ていて。いいの。
An unknown person, voice acted too. Who could this be?
すごい。こんな綺麗な人、初めて見た。聞こえて。じゃなくて大丈夫？足とかくじいていない？はい、平気です。
So, this is a very anime introduction, I should say. You know, like, it's the first episode of like a high school anime or something, and the main character's running, and they just like crash into some girl coming around the corner, and by some anime physics or something, they end up on top of you. One ends up on top of the other, something like that. This is basically the version of that. So I'm not saying that's a good thing or a bad thing. It's just, well, I guess this sort of medium has its ways of getting the plot started. And of course, she is very, I think both characters here are very self-aware of the closeness of the situation, I guess you could say. I believe I was talking over that here. This is a handy feature. I can just go back. Well, I have to go to the next line. Oops. I can just go to the previous line and repeat it. Basically, very useful if you accidentally skip over some dialogue, or which I often do. It only took her about 20 seconds probably to realize the awkwardness of that situation.
初めて会った人とこんな。どうしたの？私の方こそごめんなさいね。倒れてしまうと思ったから抱き留めてしまって。抱き？
I mean, you can make the argument that she's just not used to physical contact from people her age. That's definitely true, she admitted as much. Impossible to tell already.
違うの。確かに見たこともない美人で、髪なんてすごく綺麗で、抱きつかれて嬉しかったのは本当だけ
The
ど。
third time that she's complimented her looks in about 1 minute. Oh, same. I feel that low self-esteem.
Ah. 私は何を考えて。
どうしたの？あ、そうよね。こんな暗い道で名乗らないなんて不審がられても仕方がないわよね。私の名前は花菱立花。多分あなたと同じ新入生で。
あ、本当にごめんなさい。
What's the first thing you do when someone introduces themselves to you? Well, run away, of course. It's hard to blame her, honestly. It's so awkward, but... She was probably just... I mean, she said it herself, was overwhelmed by the situation, so...
なんで私はこう
Fight
な
or
んだろう。
flight, right? And then dwell on it excessively afterwards. That is just classic social anxiety right there.
あの人気を悪くしている
Overthinking, too.
わよね。気がついたら逃げ出してしまった。そうだ、あの時だって最初は話しかけてくれる人はいた。
Well, low self-esteem rears its ugly head again. At this point, it's hard to tell whether she's just being too hard on herself or, you know, just real. I mean, you know, she doesn't think she's pretty, and just like one look at her, it's pretty obvious that's not true. But I guess what I'm saying is that, like, even at this point, we haven't even gotten to chapter 1 yet, and even at this point, you can sort of tell what some of her defining characteristics are. It was shown to you as well as told, which is, you know, decent storytelling methods, I suppose.
Sakura.
You know, this is about my 4th time seeing this opening sequence, and the more that I think about it, I think this opening is just, or this introduction is just very dreamlike. It's sort of like, you know, you saw the cherry blossom colored embrace that she had with that other girl at the beginning, and now this. And it's sort of, you know, also very anime, you know, blossom petals sort of swirling around at her feet, and then an equally beautiful girl standing there beneath the tree. And it gets even crazier. Well, not crazier, more dreamlike. It's sort of just from this conversation that they have, which is Well, I mean, I've said it already a bunch, but dreamlike, for lack of a better word. She never met this person. It sort of sets up this whole fated meeting thing. You know, I mean, well, yeah, it is the more that I think about it. You know, something like this happens in the intro, you gotta pay attention to it. It's gonna be important later.
Sakura no Yosei. いや、そんなはずはないか。
And not only that, but both of the girls that she's run into just, like, very directly compliment her appearance. You know, like, the other one called her beautiful multiple times. She calls her a fairy. Like, does that in real life? I mean, I think it does its purpose, right? In sort of accomplishing the dreamlike quality of this whole walk up to the academy, I suppose you could say. Although, I will admit the first time I was reading through it, it was sort of very... You know, it was hard for me to suspend my disbelief, but I think it does require a very high suspension of such. Because I don't think it's supposed to be realistic, I think it's supposed to be dreamlike.
夜更けに驚かせてしまったみたいだね。あんまり桜が見事だったからつい見とれていたんだ。こういう景色を盤景、円形というのだったかな。まるで桜の雨が降っているようだ。そうか。なら君も一緒に見よう。こっちへ来るといい。
That's what I mean. Literally meant 2 seconds ago. And of course she's going to accept. See what I mean? The opening sequence is coming up. I'm gonna dip and let that do the talking. If that's not an intro, if what you're about to see isn't an intro, I don't know what is.
そそっかしいんだね、君は。
And just listen to that. Like, the soundtrack totally is perfect for this. It's very fitting. I could listen to that piano all day and those strings.
私の名前は高坂まゆり。
光あふれた花園芽吹く新たなつぼみ淡い色を抱きしめていつか目覚める時を待ちわび包み込むように朝露が柔らかくなでた揺れた胸の奥初めての感情が生まれて色づく
4月という言葉から連想されるものは何だろう。春、おろしたての制服、桜、穏やかな日和、冷たさが消えた暖かな風。いいえ、それよりも出会い。この学院で新しい出会いを得られるだろうか。友人を作れたことのない私はここでアミティエを。
So, how's that for an introduction? I think the movie, the opening movie, more so than anything else, sort of drives home the point that if you didn't know by now, this is a yuri visual novel, which is the term for, I think, just sort of anime manga, that sort of medium that depicts lesbian relationships. And that might explain why there's not a very large following of this sort of genre out there. But that is neither here nor there. I think I'll save the discussion about why this series isn't popular for another time, even though I did touch upon it just now and earlier. But at the beginning of each chapter, it's preceded by sort of just that sort of commentary by Suo. Gives a little summary or another foreword, I suppose, of what to expect. And she ends it with the word amity, which is, if you picked up on it in the intro, is the sort of roommate partner system that they have at this school, but it's also, of course, a double entendre because, or not double entendre, it was definitely done on purpose, because amity means friendship or goodwill and companionship, that stuff, right? And of course, when you say the amity system, it's supposed to evoke that, and you're not supposed to think about Amityville Horror, which I suppose where it's gotten a more infamous reputation. But here it's very, very innocent for the most part. I can't get over the soundtrack, you know, it's beautiful, and it's definitely a high point. Like, very, like, the instrumentation isn't too complex, as in not a lot of instruments. It's primarily piano, strings, guitar, but it's very effective, and always fitting. Oh, not always, mostly fitting with the mood, and oftentimes it accentuates it. So, let's get into the first proper chapter, shall we? And of course, if it wasn't obvious by now, Saint Angricum, I don't know, I don't want to butcher it, I probably just did, but it's a Christian school, a Catholic school. If it wasn't obvious from the cathedral, and for some other reasons that you will see later on.
本当にミッションスクールなんだわ。
Took the words right out of my mouth.
聖者の姿を模したステンドグラスに十字架に貼り付けにされたキリスト像。映画で見た通りだわ。すごい。
That's an important detail. It's not, I didn't skip it or anything on accident. It's supposed to just briefly flash as it just stood there. Keep an eye out for that.
新入生の皆さん、ご入学おめでとうございます。私は皆さんの担当教諭を任されましたダリア・バスキアと申します。
優しそうな人だ。でもなんだろう、私には。
Me too, Suo. Me too. I know I'm not doing a lot of... There's going to be long stretches of silence where it's just me staring at the camera, basically, but I think a lot of this stuff sort of explains itself after I establish sort of the defining characteristics of the characters in the setting. There isn't much to analyze at this point, and it's just kind of just best to move forward as quickly as possible, as quickly as the game will allow me, basically.
思案で誰とも触れ合わない生活から抜け出すために祖父の家を出たんじゃないの。
Picking a flower petal out of someone's hair the best way to do that? I mean, that's pretty naive of her too, to think, you know, books and movies and media in general is representative of, I mean, it is to an extent, just sort of as an overarching, an overarching sort of, just like general look at it, but, I mean, if it's your only source, if it's your only reference point, then sure, you know, it's totally natural to rely on it, but this is sort of gonna spell trouble for her later on, you could say. Not in a spoilery way, of course. Just, it's not gonna be easy. And I suppose this is a good time to point out that I think that, I mean, of course, you know, I did say earlier that this is a Yuri visual novel, but I think even more than that, than like, you know, than the romance aspect of it, it's a story about like self-discovery and self-growth, like, you know, your classic coming-of-age sort of thing. I think it's the pacing of it is not. It's very inconsistent, I suppose you could say, but I think overall, like it's very attuned to sort of just fears of self-growth and discovery, and the things that might hold us back from that kind of thing. And we land at our first choice. It would be inaccurate to say that every single choice you make will sort of directly influence the outcome of this game, but I think as a general rule, you're gonna want to always make the right choice. And unlike other visual novels, which sort of you just have to guess. Make your best guess as to what's the right choice in this situation, as to whose route you want to take. This game tells you, and I'll show you what I mean by that. See this little indicator in the corner here that I'm circling with my mouse? This sort of flower bud here in the corner. It sort of lights up whenever you make a decision. Here, I will demonstrate. Here, it lit up green. And as you'll see later, it'll either light up green or orange, depending on what choice you make, and the green or the orange corresponds to which character's route you want to go down. There's more to this, and I will explain that when we get to it, but for now, that is sort of all you need to know. I don't know, I really relate, to that, just the massive overthinking of such a simple interaction. It's our first one, probably, first real one, if you don't count the intro. So I guess I can give her that. Of course. This is also the equivalent of, the protagonist arrives at school in the high school anime, and he's like, oh, I'm never gonna see that girl again. And she walks through the door, and she's like, I'm the new transfer student. Except they're all transfer students here, so points for originality, or at least avoiding every single cliche, She's zeroed in. Detected. Right there. Of course she doesn't realize that it's not polite to stare. I mean, how could you pick up on that social cue if you never experienced it yourself, right? And I think another very dreamlike quality about last night's sequence, the intro, is that the stuff they say, I mean, I've already touched on this, but the stuff they say is just you're beautiful, this is beautiful, that's beautiful, everything, right? And I've said it before, who talks like that in real life? It's a very amusing contrast to see their first meeting versus their first real meeting in normal everyday life. Because, I mean, it's pretty established already that this girl's important. And I don't think I need to sort of skirt around that any longer.
So, ならよかった。
Yeah, you don't know why. Neither do I.
気を使ってもらって悪いね。昨日も挨拶したけれど、もう一度。私の名前は高坂まゆり。あなたは白羽すおさんだったね。間違っていないよね。ええ、はい。そうか、よかった。人の名前を覚えるのが苦手で間違えたかと思ったよ。 白羽さんって呼びかけてからずっと困った顔をしていたからね。
嘘。なんですか？
ごめん、素敵で少し冷たい感じのする美人だなと思っていたけど、ずいぶん子供らしい真似をするんだなって思って本当にごめんね。
She's right about two of those things. 2 out of 3. It's not bad. I guess 3 out of 4 if you count the little child comment.
Ah.
少し内緒話が過ぎるんじゃありません？今はシスターの君話をお話ししている最中よ。おしゃべりは控えて。すみません。昨日の
As fate would have it, right?
そんなに。
そう何度も頭を下げなくてもいい。白羽さんは悪いことをしていたわけじゃないからね。
開き直るの？
Did you forget what the right choice one, or the right choice here was? Generally, if you've never made the choice before, these would be highlighted in black and not pink. But I've played this game enough that I'm pretty sure at one point I picked both of them. I think it's this one. Yeah, let's go with it. Yep, green.
ここは私が誤解を解かないと。
Yep, you go, Suo. Display that newfound confidence.
開き直るとかそういうことじゃないんだけどな。
あなた。
And you can sort of see already Mayuri, and this girl, oh Rika. Yeah, she already introduced herself there. Very contrasting personalities. Even from this early point, you can sort of infer that Mayuri is sort of carefree. She acts like it anyway. She's carefree and sort of like her personality is sort of like light, for lack of a better word. And Rika is very much a stickler for the rules. Sort of, she's like perpetually doing that glasses push, and the anime glasses push. And it's very fitting. So. And I mean, I could totally be saying this with bias, but I think these two fit those character archetypes very nicely, at least this early on. It's not a bad assumption to make.
何？高坂さんは悪くないんです。私から声をかけて。だからうるさくしてしまったのは私で。そう。今日のこともそうだけど、昨日はごめんなさい。いきなり話しかけられたから驚いて、つい逃げてしまって。逃げてって。
ちょっと。
あなた昨日の私いきなり走って行ってしまったから何か気に障ることしたんじゃないかと思ってたの。あなた白羽スオです。そう、昨日は私だけ名乗って。
ちょっと その花そう花さん
She's not gonna like that.
違います花火師立花です忘れてしまったの
I mean, you know, you literally met for like a minute. It was a very significant event, but can't expect everyone to remember. Names are hard, as Mayuri said previously. I kind of agree with that. But it does feel pretty terrible to know that someone you thought you knew forgot your name, so I guess I could see both sides here.
Eh, 何よ何じゃなくてほら私は注意して
お三方お静かに願いますわ
Somehow
ね
that's scarier than being yelled at. That like fake gentle smile, you know? You do not want to piss someone like that off.
「中は普通の学校と変わらないのね」「以前通っていた学校とそう変わらないみたい」この机と椅子すごい年季よねこんなところに傷
I sort of envy that, you know, being excited about first day of school. I know that sounds really depressing, but I guess I don't really, I guess it's easy to understand where she's coming from. When she's like chasing that sort of rose-colored high school life that, you know, every anime talks about. Not every anime, but just my favorites, you know.
今になって思えば嫌な思い出ばかりじゃないのかも楽しそうだね
I wish I could have fun scratching at a desk like that, or I could look like I was having fun scratching at a desk like that.
何かごめんなんだか楽しそうだったからつい話しかけたんだけどすごい美人さんだったから驚いちゃったんだ
I guess that's normal. Just complimenting someone like that right off the bat. I don't know, I've never really tried. It doesn't really work. I mean, I can't say if it doesn't really work, it just sounds odd. I mean, it definitely doesn't really work on her because she doesn't believe it.
また社交辞令
Exhibit B?
謙遜だな同じ1年生ってことは同い年なんでしょ同い年でお姉さんみたいな落ち着いた美人ちょっと見ないと思うけどな落ち着いてるって年を取って見えるってこ
So innocent. My youth, right? Can't really relate, I'm old.
ごめん、名乗らないとかダメだよね。私の名前は佐々木いちご。佐々木は少し難しい字だけど、いちごはいちごだよ。
And we have another major character introduced here. This is Ichiko. Obviously, she's introduced herself pretty well. And just like the other two, I think her personality is pretty apparent from the first time that you meet her. Sort of
Sasaki
gregarious, I think the word is. We'll go with that. Outgoing, talkative.
So それでお姉さんの名前はなんて言うのかな？ごめんなさい。名乗るのが遅れてしまって。私の名前は白羽スオです。白羽スオ？スオってこういう字を書くんだ。難しいね。ちょっといい？何？いちごさん。
She's really just not used to people looking at her. I guess living with your grandpa alone for that long would do that to you. I mean, I feel the same way. I wasn't raised by just my grandpa. It's like unwanted attention, you know. I guess people who like attention in general don't mind that, but I don't really fall into that category.
せっかくの紹介だからリンゴにも教えてあげようと思って。ほらリンゴ、また寝ちゃダメだって。ほらほら早く起きる。わかったよ。わかればちょっと。わかったからお姉ちゃん。同じ顔。そう、双子の妹なの。ほら挨拶。佐々木リンゴでさ。佐々木はもう説明したよ。そう、それじゃあ名前のリンゴはリンゴですよ。
Indeed. Strawberry and apple. And they're complete opposites. In personality, at least, they look the same. But it's the classic, you know, one's very boisterous and outgoing, and the other one is shy, quiet, likes to keep to herself. They're major characters. They get their own. They're fully voice acted, so, and that is true for all major characters in this game. But yeah, there are only 2 romance routes. I think if there were multiple, I probably would not be doing a playthrough right now. That would just take too much time. But yeah, there are only 2, and it's pretty obvious at this point who the 2 are. Chekhov's gun, right, and all that sort of rules of storytelling, basically. But they are major characters, and they do play a very important role, just in general. So keep an eye on them.
で、 こちらが白羽スオちゃん。スオちゃんでいいよね。難しい字だからちゃんと覚えてあげてね。うん、わかった。
Well, you're not wrong. Very perceptive view, I should say. I mean, that's probably just a rule of introducing characters in storytelling. You start with their most defining features. You don't really mislead your readers, basically, as to what they're like.
リンゴさんは一つ。ん？まあ、ほくろのこと？初心者的には簡単な見分け方の一つだね。一つの方が妹のリンゴ、二つの方が私って覚えておいて。寝起きとかお風呂に入ってる時はさすがに髪は言ってないしね。これから席も近いんだし、よろしくね。よろしく。はい、私の方こそご指導ご鞭達のほどお願いします。
Who says that? I mean, I don't know if the translation is 100% accurate, because I don't know, my Japanese is really, really bad, but I think the sentiment's the same, you know?
もしかして友達第1号が作れるんじゃない？
It's sort of like early game watching her like struggle basically to like socialize and do the most basic interactions is both endearing and kind of sad at the same time. More so, I mean, I'm laughing at it, but like, I guess it's because I can relate. I'm just like, socializing is hard, you know. If I were to have to relate to like characters in this game, it would definitely be Suo and not be someone like Mayuri Route or what have you. It's not a requirement to relate to anyone, but like, I guess that's part of the reason I like Suo as a protagonist. It's one of the many reasons, of course, that she's just like relatable, but like ideally so. And if that doesn't make sense now, just her other traits will be highlighted later on.
いちごね、ご鞭達って何？わからないけど、多分スオちゃんの元いた学校で流行った挨拶とかじゃない？一時流行った「おっはー」みたいな。なるほど。佐々木さんにお願いがあるのですけど。
This can't end well.
何？私と友達になってくれないでしょ。
And what do you know? She actually went and said it. Doesn't take a genius to know that that's not usually how that works. I don't know. I don't have any friends. I'm just kidding. I have some friends. This isn't about me. It's just even someone with limited experience like myself can sort of pick up on that. Like, that's not really how you go about it. Just sort of happens, you know?
友達ね。
I guess it seems kind of awkward for me, just like seeing like how earnestly she says it, you know, and it's just like, oh, that's probably not the right thing to say to someone you met about 2 minutes ago, even if you got off on the right foot per se.
めんね。考えてみたけど友達ってねえもっとたくさんおしゃべりしてからだと思う。ああ、別にスオちゃんが気に入らないってことじゃないんだ。すごい美人さんだし、こっちから頼みたいくらいなんだけど。でも友達だよねって口に出してから友達になるのって本当の友達じゃないっていうか。
There you go.
そうよね。映画のようにうまくいくわけないわ。
And
投稿していた1年で思い知らされていたこと
cute
じゃない。
emo music, I guess. I don't know. I mean, what did you expect?
何？どうしたのスオちゃん。もしかして眠っちゃってるのかも。リンゴじゃないんだから目を開けたまま眠るわけないでしょ。スオちゃん。はい、何ですか？急にぼーっとするからびっくりしたよ。あ、それよりスオちゃんに聞きたいことがあるんだけどいいかな？私にですか？うん。スオちゃんのお家ってやっぱりキリスト教なの？いいえ、質問の内容よりも。
She's looking at it very, like, pragmatically, right? So, not exactly like what's the right thing to say in this situation, but what answer has the highest chance of, you know, being friends, more or less. I actually don't know which one's correct. Not correct, but just will lead me down the right route. So we're gonna make our first save here. I'm just gonna say we're this because it's. I was like testing out the game earlier to make sure it ran smoothly with the game capture and everything like that, so we can just save over that. One interesting thing to note is that we have our first typo, I think. If you go back a bit and you see that chapter 1, when, you know, the whole fade-in screen came in, it was called Spring Awakening, I believe, but when you go into the save files and you save during chapter 1, it says Waltz of Spring. I don't know which one's like right per se, because this happens more than once. Although I like both of them, I just wish it would be kind of consistent. Oh, my bad. These are saves from my previous playthrough. So there's a little preview of what's to come, I should say. I believe it's this one. Yes, it is. Perfect.
やっぱりって言ったからには期待されている。
And here's where another one of Sua's like defining character traits are really kind of becoming apparent here. I mean, she's obviously sort of overthinks the minutia of every social interaction, right? Because she's worried that, like, you know, if she says the wrong thing, she's gonna be judged or what have you. But she's also very, like, perceptive and observant. I guess when you've sort of like lived your life alone, basically, with like not really surrounded like socially by friends or people or what have you, well, the best you could do is watch, right? And she's watched like movies and stuff, so that kind of explains it. But that skill, like that sort of skill, translates into like real life application too. I think that's something that's very apparent. Like she's like crazy perceptive. I guess, like I said, I guess you got it, right? If you're gonna want to try and sort of step out of your shell and try to understand people more or less.
私やっぱりって言い方はおかしいと思う。うちも違うん
And
だ
as it
し。
turns out, the choice that you make doesn't really matter, because this outcome comes up regardless, you sort of just cut off before you can give your answer. And Ringo sort of scolds her older sister. But it does affect, like, sort of the ending that you're set on very minutely, but it still does. There is still code.
ああ、そうか。確かに見た感じだとそんな気もするけれど。聖歌は仏教だと思います。そうなんだ。逆に良かったよ。ほら、入学式の時に上級生が聖歌を歌ってたでしょ。だから全然知らない私たちはまずいんじゃないかって思ったんだ。私とリンゴだけで歌う練習とかするのって恥ずかしいし。
The implication there is that not everyone goes to the school because they want to be good Christian girls.
そうだったんですか。
I mean, three cases right here. Suo herself is pretty obvious that she's here to make friends, but the others, well, their motivations aren't as clear, I would say.
それでさ、
お待たせしました。先ほど聖堂で挨拶を済ませましたが、ダリア・バスキアと申します。あなた方の教諭として1年間共に学ばせていただきます。よろしくお願いいたしますね。
I keep leaving the mouse in the middle of the screen. I'm sure it's going to be really distracting.
すごいな。
I don't know, Suo. First impressions mean a lot. They don't mean everything, but they mean a lot.
それでは何から説明いたしましょうか。まずは、そうでした。はじめは自己紹介から始めましょう。それでは席順に自己紹介してもらおうかしら。はい、あとはご趣味と皆さんに簡単な一言をどうぞ。
And there's our second typo. It should be a few words, I believe. I know, it sort of makes me look like a jerk for calling out typos, but it's a finished game, you know? And I wouldn't have an issue with it if it was just one, or like a couple here and there, but I think at the beginning of the game it's not that bad, but like the later on you get, the more I think just quality control is just, sort of just got tired of it. They're like, nah, we're good, let's finish the game. It doesn't like really break immersion too much, in my opinion, but it's just the more that it comes up, the more it's distracting, basically. And not only that, they just never released a patch, you know, to sort of fix that. They sort of just basically ignored the game after they released it, which is somewhat concerning. No more complaining. Let's continue on. I think we're almost done with chapter 1 here.
それでは拍手。
自己紹介があったんだわ。あの失敗を繰り返してはいけない。名前、趣味、一言、挨拶。どう言えば。佐々木りんごだよ。好きなことは美味しいもの。
特技は泳ぐことかな。よろしくです。
嘘。
佐々木いちごです。リンゴとは双子で、私は姉の方なんだ。趣味はカエルの置物集めだよ。特技はリンゴと一緒かな。よろしくね。
I think, given how our last attempts at socializing have gone up until this point, it's pretty safe to assume that this isn't gonna go well either. And, well, I want what's best for her, and it's natural to think that trying to, like, sort of reinvent yourself, not reinvent yourself, but your personality, might not be a bad place to start, right? Nope. This is the right choice, though. The right choice.
クラスのみんなに私のことを知ってもらういい機会だわ。白羽スオです。趣味は小説と映画鑑賞です。小説は恋愛ものから歴史もの、推理小説とどんなジャンルも好きで読み
Okay,
込
that's
み
a
ま
pretty
す。
good start.
映画も同様です
Good
が、
start.
最近ハマっているのはホラー映画で、大体のものは見ています。特にお気に入りのジャンルはゾンビ映画で、初期のゆっくり歩くゾンビの方が愛らしいと思います。最近のものは駆け足で追ってきますが、あれは趣が。
白羽さん、
はい。
簡単な紹介でよろしいので、あとはご挨拶を。
Yeah.
はい。一人も笑っていない。よろしくお願いいたします。
Poor girl. You'll get there eventually, I hope.
高坂まゆりです。趣味はお菓子作りと絵を描くことかな。これからよろしく。
花火師立花です。趣味は紅茶の茶葉集めです。入れるのも勉強中です。皆さんよろしくお願いします。
花火師さんは先ほど聖堂で話された方ですわよね。
Already being defined by your slip-ups, huh? That's a good way to start the first day of school, especially in front of your homeroom teacher.
花火師さんは入試試験で一番の成績を残されたのですよ。
She just wanted to roast her, I guess, briefly.
後で決めようと思っていましたけど、せっかくの機会だから花火師さんに救助を頼めないかしら。さて、自己紹介も済んだことですし、簡単な授業内容を説明しますね。それと、我が校としての生徒として恥じることがないよう、礼法の授業もございます。礼法とは、立ち居振る舞いにおける正しい作法を覚えるものです。歩き方から座礼、正しいお食事の取り方、着付けの仕方などですね。
Well, it doesn't sound too exciting, but what do I know? I'm never gonna have to learn those things anyway, so maybe I'm biased. like an entire class dedicated to that. You know, in high school, so it's like you take that all year. Can't relate. Well said.
ダリア先生、質問なんですけど、この聖書の時間っていうのは聖書を読む時間なんですか？
実は私も聞きたかったんです。実家がカトリックでないのでピンとこなくて。
そうですね。聖書の授業と言われても分かりづらいですよね。この授業は入学前に購入された聖書を地引きにキリスト教について学んでいきます。1年生時は理念や創世記など始まりの部分を。
難しそうですね。
Seriously though, I've been surrounded by the Bible my whole life. Sounds like a
いいえ、ただ興味を覚える作業というわけではありません。聖書をただ読むでなく、興味を踏まえた上で現実での悲劇とどう対処するか。難病に苦しむ方との対話をどうすべきかなどディスカッションする場でもあります。
道徳の時間に近いということですか？
考える力や他人の意見を聞く方法を学ぶ場として捉えても結構です。他には聖歌やお祈りの言葉などもその時間に習得してもらいます。
よかった、教えてもらえるみたいだね。
他に授業で言うべきところは、はいはいありました。この体育となっている授業時間ですが、この学院では体育の授業はすべてバレエの練習となります。
バレエ？
バレエと一言で言いましても、クラシック、モダン、創作ダンスと分けられますが、授業で学ぶのはクラシックのみです。この授業も学院生徒たる気品、そして芸術性を磨くためのものです。
me too, me too.
こんな大女じゃきっと似合わないわ。
ねえ、そうちゃん、
何？
私ってバレエの服似合うと思う？
It's almost just impeccable timing right there. You can read your mind. As once again we go for the bold
い
answer.
ちごさんならきっと似合うんじゃないかな。
本当？そう思う？
体型とか顔立ちとかやっている雰囲気があるというか。
なら私も似合うってことですね。初めは大変かなって思ったけど、バレエの授業楽しみだね、スオちゃん。
学院規則や授業のということですが、寮についてはまた後でしましょう。いっぺんに話しても頭に入ってこないでしょうし。
ダリア先生、アミティエのことはいいんですか？初めに決める事柄だと思ったのですけど。
Again, impeccable timing. This time by Mayuri. That wouldn't be the only reason, of course, but I agree. If if only because you two are both major characters.
ええ、最後の結びで言おうと思ったの。アミティエ試験はこれから行います。本日からアミティエ制度を行ってもらいます。慣れるためには早い方がいいですものね。
今日から頑張ろう。
Alright, I think after the test would be a good place to stop. I wanted to finish chapter 1, but it looks like that's not going to be the case. Maybe I can actually, if we could extend this by another 15 minutes or so. I think that's when chapter 1 ends, but I'm not entirely sure. We'll see.
皆さんの鉛筆が止まりましたら終わりにしますから。
急がないわけないじゃない。
Test anxiety. You gotta love it.
急がなくちゃとは思うけれど。
Alright, these, you actually have to take the test. Take the test. And it affects the route you take too as well. Forget what neither does though. I don't even know if it does anything. Like if it leans towards one route or the other. We'll save just in case I mess up. Because it's been a while since I've played chapter 1, so I've forgotten a lot of what these do. Ah, it was orange. Okay. Well, the old visual novel trick. Save right before you make a choice, and if you make the wrong one, go back. It's very, it feels dirty, but saves you a lot of time. And I just want to make all the right choices, I suppose. I just have to put agree for all of them? I forgot. Okay, well, there's our first sort of the additional purpose of this little indicator in the corner right here. I was pointing at it, but I realized you can't see it. So I'll circle it with my mouse. And it's a flower bud at the beginning, of course, and if you answer all the questions, or if you make all the choices a certain way, then the flower blooms. And only by making it bloom fully can you get the true end, basically. Basically, it's not that hard to do because, you can see it when it flashes green, and you can see it physically growing, as you just saw there a few minutes ago. But yeah, if you don't make all the right choices and you attempt to get the true end, you're going to get a bad ending, basically. So you got to be careful, manage your saves correctly. It's not that hard. And that's why they give you so many save slots. But yeah. And one other thing about this little flower indicator is that it's a lily flower. Just a lily, I think that's what it's called. Or that's how you say it. And I did mention earlier that this this type of Japanese media featuring lesbian relationships is called yuri, and yuri doesn't mean lesbian in Japanese. It means lily, the flower. And of course, as a result, a lot of like just like yuri manga and anime has a lot of like flower imagery. I suppose that explains the title as well. Not just this game, of course, but like a lot of others. Probably couldn't name off the top of my head. And as a result, this flower in the corner here is the lily. And the lily fully blossoms if you make all the right choices and you get the true ending. See where I'm going with this? It's not the most subtle imagery or symbol or whatever it is. But hey, sometimes I don't really mind being beaten over the head with symbolism. It's almost refreshing in a way. And it's not like, I mean, yeah, it's in your face about it, but you know, at least they don't make any like metaphors. They don't like talk in metaphors about flowers and growth and personal growth and all that stuff. Really, all you get is this here, and as a result, I think it's kind of an endearing addition to the game. Anyway, let's move on. Thinking about these questions is that it's like I felt like my first time playing through that these questions would sort of be like the whole Chekhov's gun thing, right? Like if you kind of put this early on, it's gonna come up later, right? And I thought that when I was first playing through, like all of these issues are gonna sort of rear their ugly head at some point. Maybe they did, I just missed it, but I guess it really just is a sort of compatibility test.
今は早く終わらせないと。
And even like if it didn't, even if it doesn't cover all those issues directly, there's sort of just you can already kind of tell there's this emotional trauma just sort of swimming beneath the surface right here for our beloved protagonist. And as visual novels go, it's not going to stay there for the duration.
"まだ付け加えることはあるのよね。
どうぞ。白羽さん？
Girl, you gotta pull yourself together.
高坂さんはさっきまで他の席で。
She literally just picked it up because she was being nice, you know? But she is your potential amity partner.
いちごさんじゃない。 勘違いしてたんだわ。
白羽さん、これ。
あ、全然書いていない。これじゃあ私が必死すぎじゃない。
Pretty sure it's the bottom one, but you can't be too safe. I don't want to go through the last few minutes again. That was the choice.
高坂さんはなんて書いたのですか？
私？ ああ、ごめんごめん。悩む必要もないくらい当たり前のことしか書いてなかったから。こんなに真面目に書いている人に聞かせるのが恥ずかしいかなって思って。
こんなにたくさん書いて、
うん。優しい人がいいとか、人当たりがいいだとか、当たり前のことばかり書いてないで、もう少しちゃんと考えてみるよ。ありがとうね、白羽さん。
よかったのかな。
And the test is over. Should I stop here? We are currently at 1 hour 38 minutes. And chapter 1 is... Well, the thing is, I finished chapter 1 now. I don't think it's that much longer. Or is it? I'll just... I can split it up into multiple parts. It's not a big deal. And it'll save my computer some... It'll save my computer some stress, because rendering videos takes an eternity and a half, so we shall return to the main menu. And that concludes episode 1. We got kind of far, probably chapter 1 at least. Yeah, if you would be so kind, it would be great if you I'm sort of just feeling this format out, and I'm always sort of second guessing myself as to like, when's a good place to talk? When's a good place to let the game do the talking? Should I sort of linger on dialogue boxes more to sort of let the dialogue and the characterization sort of sink in? Yeah, it's a lot of things that you don't really consider when you have these ideas in mind, but when it actually comes to it, it's So I'll just sort of keep feeling this out, but I think I'll stick to my whole letting the game do the talking thing that I've been pushing so far. So that's it for this time. Yeah, I'll see. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time.